always his work my father cared about. His research. He tried to save his work. I tried to save him.
Hello there, Sera from 17 once again, introducing you to my Gears of War 3 Insane Difficulty video walkthrough. This is Act 3, Chapter 4, Ghost Town. And I don't know about you guys, but there's one thing I've noticed about the Gears of War franchise, aside from, everybody's very large, meaty, and has a chunky neck, and dynamite haircuts. One of the other things I've noticed is, in every Gears game, when you hit the third act, things get spooky. And what I mean by this is it's always the middle act, it's always the central part of the game where you will go to an area, it'll generally have a lot more, atmosphere than the other places you've been before. There'll generally be a lot of mystery. There'll not be that much combat, during the section that it does this in. And at the end of it, there's generally some kind of surprise or some kind of twist in essence. The first game, you went underground. You went into the Locust home. It was all rainy. You were in this compound. You didn't know what was going on. And then you saw wretches that could blow up. And there were these lambent wretches. You didn't know what they were. You didn't know what it meant. Excuse me. And it was kind of weird and shifty. And then you went into the Locust home, pretty much. The second game, you went to that facility that had suddenly become declassified by Prescott. And you had to go and find something in there, and you were meeting the sires, there was the crazy AI, and it was all sorts of madness kicking off. And on this game, it's this part right now. So we are going to be entering into this town, which is aptly titled the Ghost Town, and as you move your way through, you're going to be disabling those proximity sensors. And they don't work like they do on Splinter Cell, where if you run up to them, you die. On this, you have to run up to them and turn them off. They work a little bit closer to, say, Fallout 3. Like the landmines did. But once you go through the town, you will hit a checkpoint, and you're going to get introduced to a new enemy. And I'd heard there was a new enemy that they couldn't speak about on the IGN first 45 minutes of the game, cause that looks like I've got a load of latency on my weapon, but it's actually programmed to burst because somebody shoots at you. But I just trimmed the cutscene out. So for this level, I would definitely say either pack a shotgun or a retro lancer. And the reason I say that is because the enemy that they introduce is very similar to the wretches. And I don't know what I thought it was going to be. I kind of hoped it was going to be something awesome and cool and just, throw the series on its head. It doesn't. Spoiler alert, the enemy is a lambent human. So, it turns out the emulsion is actually a parasitic organism, And what it does is it lives in symbiosis with its host until it can take over and mutate them. And what it does to humans is it turns them into feral beasts that explode but don't do any damage to you, luckily enough. And all this section is going to be is you taking on legions of them. And they generally die in a couple of bullets. You can kill them with one melee hit, I believe. They're kind of like the wretches. But they come in groups of 6 and 7. And it takes 2 hits to kill you, pretty much. 3 if you're lucky, I believe, because sometimes you can only get grazed and things like that. But if they get up in your face and you cannot clear them quick enough, you're dead. It's just that simple. And they're cheap as fuck, and I'm not the biggest fan of them unless I'm playing on anything but insane. On any other difficulty, these are fun as hell to fight because the programming is very simple. They run at you and they beat you up. They don't have guns, they don't have projectiles. They are essentially a wretch that's taller and easier to hit. So the first thing I do here is I utilize the fact that I have the incendiary grenades, because the incendiary grenades will put up a path of denial, much like napalm in Black Ops, and it will protect you for, I don't know how long they last, but anything that runs through it's generally going to set on fire. And I stay in this back area here because they have to run all the way around, come under that bridge and get to you. And Anya will do a decent job of killing them for you. If they're at distance, use your Lancer or whatever gun you've got. If they get close, use your shotgun. And I've saved one incendiary grenade just in case shit hits the fan. The only problem with Insane is there's a lot of them, and they do come for a while, so I actually thought this was an unlimited spawn, and right here I get myself into all kinds of shit. But I managed to get the sawn-off on, and luckily enough, they're so busy trying to kill Anya, I can clear them away. And look how slow the reload is on the sawn-off. I know it's good balancing, but I still hate it. I really do. And it's just about keeping your composure, keeping calm under pressure. If you panic, you'll just get gang mauled. There's nothing you can do. And if you're not confident and they're getting too close, throw an incendiary grenade to push them back. And make your way forward, because as you push forward through this area, more will spawn regardless of how many you kill. The luxury of this is you are getting experience in the campaign. It's not as a lot compared to multiplayer, but it's still, every penny counts when you're leveling up, so this will help work towards your level achievements and what have you. I'm still pissed off that the ribbons don't show up in arcade mode. That's so tragic. I think they show up in Horde, but I can't remember, and if they don't, that's tragic as well, because Horde is beast. And I'm still pissed off that the Onyx challenges, or the Onyx challenges, sorry, do not count in campaign or Horde, because that would make them so much more fun to get, because playing online, I haven't actually had the chance to do it yet, because I've been constantly uploading and my connection goes to shit. But I have been playing against the bots, and I hope it's an indication of what the online is going to be like. Not obviously how the bots play, because people play completely different, but in essence, the connection seems pretty damn decent, and the shotguns work, which is always cool. This section here, they have a really hard time mantling, especially when Anya stands on the lip, because she kind of cock blocks them. So you can take advantage of this and just lance everything. That's kind of what I was doing, and it worked to charm. But just keep you cool, don't die. Because unfortunately this is an interesting checkpoint. The checkpoint is from the second the cutscene ended, and you do have to fight a ton of these formers, as they're called, because I think Sam makes a mention towards them being former humans, and then she gets all paranoid and says she's not going to end up like them. And then Dom makes kind of insinuates that he won't let that happen. And I haven't read the books, I don't know if there's some kind of thing going off between Dom and Sam, but later on in the game, something happens, and Marcus asks Sam if she's okay, because it's in relevance to Dom, and he asks her instead of asking anybody else, and it kind of points towards this relationship that's built between the two that I have absolutely no knowledge of, because she obviously wasn't in the second game, and there's been a couple books that might be explaining it, and throughout this game there's little hints towards it, but Dom's kind of so battle scarred and so, so completely just shell-shocked from the passing of his wife that he's probably not even looking for that kind of thing, and she's probably that star-crossed lover that likes him, but is kind of stuck in that transition of she can't tell him how she feels because he's still reeling from his wife. And this could be me pissing in the wind and completely off tangent, but I do believe there's something there, because if you listen to the cutscenes, it definitely hints towards something, and it is cool to have those little bits. I do think there isn't enough funny lines in this game, because the first two games, don't get me wrong, they definitely had some pretty piss-poor dialogue. They didn't have much characterization or much plot, to say the least, but there were a couple of lines that just fucking had me rolling, and this game, I can't even remember one. And I know it's because it's it's a lot more serious than the other ones, and the tone is definitely darker, but I still like those lines, like especially on the first game, when you separated, I think at the start of Act 2 for the first time, and Dom just makes that reference about two arseholes on their first date. It made me laugh so much, and there were a bunch of lines through that game where they were just shit-talking each other, and because of the tone of this game, it seems to be a lot less about shit-talk and a lot more about we're fucked. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm all for, the defeatist attitude, because it can definitely set a nice mood, but I don't know, there's just something funny about shitting on each other, and Baird kind of tries to do it, but he doesn't quite hit the same highs, in my opinion, and I do believe it's because the writing on the game is better, because there's something about bad writing that just makes everything resonate. But this encounter here, I was actually quite worried for, because the first time I did it, I got absolutely mauled on hardcore. But the Vulcan cannon lasts a while, and the formers, if you've got all your buddies with you on this little sandbag area, you can defend really well, and the incendiaries will be the last line of defense for you. But I got kind of lucky here, because nobody was interested in me. They were all going for my team, and if you get the same luck as me, you'll have no trouble whatsoever. A really good strategy, if you're struggling with this, is to roadie run. Literally, run away. Pretend you are a sniper on Gears 1 multiplayer and just fuck off. As soon as you fired your shot, run away. Run to the other side of the fountain, keep circling around it, spin around, take a shot, run away. Keep doing that. And it works surprisingly well, because you are faster than them. They are quick though, word to the wise, they will catch you real quick, but it can be done, I've done it, so I'm sure your guys will be able to do it as well. But that was a kind of clean run. luckily enough. And when you go up here, you're going to be introduced to a stranded character. Don't get attached though, because he doesn't last long. And it will be effectively the end of Chapter 4, so a couple of these levels are significantly shorter than the ones before, but Act 4 and Act 5 definitely make up for it, because there's a couple of chapters on there that are hella long, real long chapters. Don't know why I said hella. The only cool use of hella is in a Machine Head album. Every other use of it is ridiculous and gay. But thanks for watching, guys, and do take care now.